It's the 59th annual selection meeting, as they call it in the NFL. And as the rules change and the brave new world of the salary cap and teams and free agency, perhaps more than ever before, a premium on the 7 rounds of the NFL draft.
I mean, so many things were going on in '94 that really hadn't been seen before. You had underclassmen being drafted in fairly significant numbers. You had free agency begin to have an effect on how teams filled needs. And you had all these mock drafts taking interest in the draft to a greater degree than ever before.
Mel Kiper is doing his, and Dr. Paul Zimmerman is doing his. No matter how many more hours these teams have spent having access to info and medicals and stuff that none of us have, we all think that we can do it as good as they do.
Well, Chris, this is a pick that I had McGinnis going number 4 to New England. And really, I thought it because he is an impact player.
All right, Mel, the Rams now on the board. Let's take a look at yours. Where should they be looking for value?
Well, their position.
Mel Kiper has built a career for himself as the outsider with inside knowledge, the first great armchair GM. He has published his own draft guide every spring since 1981, complete with write-ups on each pro prospect.
I'm always interested to read his book, as long as he sends it free.
By 1994, Kiper and his big board were fixtures of the broadcast. There was little debate as to who would go number 1, but intrigue surrounded the landing spots for Heath Shuler and Trent Dilfer, the top 2 quarterback prospects.
The Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock. Now they have 2 very high first-round picks, the number 2 pick right now and the number 7 pick overall.
With the second pick in the first round, the Indianapolis Colts select Marshall Faulk, running back, San Diego State.
He's a great back, but I strongly disagree with this pick, and it's not any criticism at all of Marshall Faulk. The Colts have to come out of this draft with a quarterback, and if they don't, they're ripe for some criticism.
Kiper, he had been building up 2 weeks prior to the draft about having to take a quarterback, and I was the opinion that I was running the Colts and not anybody on a network.
Bill Tobin took the future Hall of Famer. He had acquired the Colts' other top 10 pick by trading Jeff George to the Falcons, leaving free agent signee Jim Harbaugh as the only quarterback on the roster. The same Harbaugh that Tobin drafted 8 years earlier as GM of the Chicago Bears.
Walter Payton and Jim Harbaugh, the 2 most competitive players I've ever been around in my life, and he was going to be my quarterback. I wasn't interested in Trent Dilfer and Heath Shuler. We didn't have either one of them in our top 10 players.
With the 3rd pick of the first round, the Washington Redskins select Heath Shuler, quarterback, Tennessee. New England Patriots select Willie McGinnis, linebacker, USC.
Trent Dilfer is falling. Can you believe that?
I don't know what he's thinking. Was Santa Claus waiting on him ever this exciting?
I don't know, man. This is amazing, huh?
I get a big kick out of every year. I have that ugly green suit on and a big flock of seagulls hairdo. So that's why I like it being reruns. People actually believe I had hair at one point.
So you are surprised?
Oh, very surprised. Yeah, we thought for sure it would be either Indianapolis, Washington, or L.A.
The next logical choice was the Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts traded up with the Rams, moving from number 7 to number 5. Everyone thought they were moving up to take Dilfer. What followed became the signature moment of the 1994 draft.
The Rams have made a trade with Indianapolis, and Indianapolis has selected Trev Alberts, linebacker from Nebraska.
Wow. That's simple.
Well, I mean, Albert's a great player.
Yeah,
There's no question about that. But you got a problem with this move?
I think it's a typical Colt move. I mean, here's a team that needed a franchise quarterback to pass up a Trent Dilfer when all you have is Jim Harbaugh. Give me a break. That's why the Colts are picking 2nd every year in the draft, not battling for the Super Bowl like other clubs in the National Football League.
It was, whoa, Mel, where are you going, Babes? You know, mild-mannered Mel, all of a sudden, boom, here he comes.
That's why the Colts are picking 2nd every year in the draft.
You know, Mel was never shy in his opinion, and he wasn't shy in his opinion in this case.
Well, you think about Jim Harbaugh was a solid quarterback, not a great one. And you felt like, okay, can these quarterbacks improve your position? And I thought Trent Dilfer could.
And obviously, general managers don't like to be called out like that by analysts.
So shortly afterward, we kick it down to Indianapolis, where Chris Mortensen is with Bill Tobin.
I knew you'd have one surprise for us today.
Not a surprise to us.
No, that's great. I mean, no, that's what I mean. I'm not, hey. One question, Bill. A lot of criticism about not taking a quarterback here. Your response?
Well, you know, we got a guy up there. Who in the hell is Mel Kiper, in a way? I mean, here's a guy that criticizes everybody, whoever they take. He's got the answers to who you should take and who you shouldn't take. In my knowledge of him, he's never ever put on a jockstrap. He's never been a coach. He's never been a scout. He's never been an administrator. And all of a sudden, he's an expert. He's in our papers 2 days ago telling us who we have to take. We don't have to take anybody that Mel Kiper says we have to take. Mel Kiper has no more credentials to do what he's doing than my neighbor, and my neighbor's a postman, and he doesn't even have season tickets to the NFL.
At that instant, it just became clear that this was reality television of the highest order.
Oh, I think I probably got my Irish up.
Bill Tobin was a hot-headed guy. I love Bill. He said what the entire league thought.
Who in the hell is Mel Kiper, in a way?
I know I and probably 27 other general managers congratulated him. It was classic.
Who in the hell is Mel Kiper?
Mel Kiper doesn't know any more than my postman.
The thing is, nobody's ever really tracked down Tobin's mailman to find out exactly how much he does. I'd like to know that sometime. It could be that Tobin's mailman knows a lot about football. It might be more of a compliment than any of us realized.
Mel Kiper? Bill Tobin, obviously, not going out to dinner tonight.
Well, Chris, I'll tell you, I'm secure in my position. Obviously, Bill Tobin is not very secure in his position to have a response like that.
I didn't take exception to the comments. Bill Tobin was entitled to his opinion. He was critical of what I said, so be it. I wasn't there to shill for the NFL. I was there to give an opinion, and I've always done that.
To me, it's a mistake. You cannot go with Jim Harbaugh and pass up Trent Dilfer. Forget it. That's why the Colts are the laughingstock of the league year in and year out.
April 24th, 1994, a day that will live in infamy.
Kiper, Tobin, and Tobin's postman became the talk of the draft.
What do you want to cover first, our players or that jerk in Baltimore?
You know, of all the things my whole career, that might be the one that people want to talk about the most.
It was obviously very entertaining for the fans, and it's still being talked about today.
Mel, you know, is probably the single biggest person in terms of why the draft has been popular on ESPN. So we didn't have any problem with it. You know, controversy is good on television.
And we will win regardless of what Mel Kiper says.
In the aftermath, Jim Harbaugh led the Colts to the AFC Championship game in 1995. Marshall Faulk is in the Hall of Fame. Trev Alberts was out of the league in just 3 years. Bill Tobin was fired in 1997 after the Colts went 3-13.